Be sure to hit up Ray Allen at rayallen.com. Use the discount code WDR10 for 10% off. They got the new training app and the new product collaborations, so be sure to hit them up. Use the discount code, download the new app.
All right. Everybody knows we love Dogtra, dogtra.com. The YS600 bar collars, the 1900S black. That's one of Ted's favorites. Check them out, WDR10 for 10% off a single item over $200. That is dogtra.com.
Hits K9 for handlers by handlers in Chocolate City for 2024. New Orleans 2024, August 21st to the 23rd. Hit them up. Hits K9, letter K9.net. Don't wait till the last minute to sign up.
We have a great relationship with the folks down at Kinetic Dog Food. They have a great balance of healthy meats, grains, and is made specifically for working and sporting dogs. Check them out, kineticdogfood.com. You will not be disappointed. They are great.
American Aluminum, best inserts in the game. Hit them up at Easy Rider Online. That's the letter E, Z, Rider Online.com.
Dudes, Horizon Structures, man, they make some of the greatest stuff. They'll come and drop it off a big kennel right at your property. Hook up to your power, hook up to your electric. Check them out, horizonstructures.com. They're always running discounts on the website, horizonstructures.com. All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. My name is Eric Stambro, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Lake Mohawk, Malvern, Ohio, where I live in my spare bedroom. I still don't have the Working Dog Radio thing. I forgot it up in Canton, among other things I forgot. With me always from Tulsa, Oklahoma is Ted Summers. Ted, what is happening over there?
It's hot.
Pretty much that's it.
It's hot. It's hot all over the country, but it is super fucking hot right now. And I'm on my 2-week break between, or 3-week break between handler schools. Monday, I have 10 handlers showing up for a school. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot of guys. It's a lot of dogs. Picked up 5 dogs last week from the airport. Got those. Got some other ones working in process. Already got orders on them, and they're for my September, October class, which it'll be much cooler. The kennel is almost done-ish. We're having our grass installed on this weekend. All of our AstroTurf. So all my handlers are going to be doing obedience in the new AstroTurf outside the kennel, which is going to have a nice, like those big sail cover things. My landlord installed these giant 20-foot poles and stuff. So it's going to be cool.
Nice.
It's still hot as shit though. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like dogs are melting. Like I've got the misters going outside. The dogs that I cut in from Europe last week, I'm pretty sure they think they got shipped to hell. Like I went out there today to look at them. They're out in the outdoor runs, and I have thermometers out there. So I think the heat temperature today before heat index is like 105 or 106. Heat index was, I don't know, and hot in the teens, and they all have little misters going on them. And I have thermometers out there, so it was like 90-ish. And I went out there, and the new dogs that just got here, been here a week, they went outside. They were laying flat on the concrete, getting sprayed by water, and I was like, yeah, I get it, buddy.
Yeah,
like,
they're still wearing hoodies over in Germany, so it's cool.
I was like, me too, bro. Like, so I was like, you'll be all right. You won't die. But the kennel is air conditioned. It's like 80 in the kennel. So when we took them in to do some work today, they were like, yeah, okay, look, I can handle this. But yeah, so
yep, I got this weekend I'm going to see Godsmack, and then driving over to Next Level Kennels in North Carolina, doing a 2-day e-collar without conflict seminar, and then back over to do pet stuff. And I finished a handler school, and I've been just at the pet facility, just repping dogs and putting out fires and doing this and doing that. And I actually was told today by my trainers in my building that they enjoy having me around. And I was like, that's so sweet. You're fucking full of shit. But, and I think why they like having me around is because, and this is what my manager told me, he says, because you're here helping and repping dogs all day, you're seeing issues the dogs are having, or in real time, you're seeing what they're doing good or what they need to do more of. She goes, usually you show up here at 3:00 in the afternoon after working police dogs all day, walk in and go, that fucking dog needs more of this, that dog needs more of that, this dog needs, you don't know what day the dog is on, and you don't know what we've been working on. and you just come in here and boosh and blow everything up. And I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. I can accept that. That's true. I definitely screwed that up. So last week, one of my trainers was on vacation, and so it was mainly me and the one girl, Heather, for most of the day. And Heather and Julie are real like an oiled machine. Like they don't bump into each other. They're like working dogs and flowing through there. And my clod hopper ass, I'm just grabbing dogs and I don't even look. I'm turning, going to send the dog to place. There's a dog on it. And I'm just like, she's like, what is happening? I'm like, speed. That's me. Speed. Let's go. So, but it's been fun. We've, it's been interesting this week, man, as we have 3 of the dogs we have in our hunger strike dogs. And it's such a pain in the ass. So we're using the Kinetic dog food, their weight gain supplement.
Yeah,
We're using that in the water. It doesn't really curb the hunger for the dog, but it does keep weight up. And dude, today one of them ate nothing but chicken nuggets. We're just doing ground beef on their food. We're mixing it. So what it's doing though is they all got like the shits, stuff like that, because they're eating different things.
Very nice.
I can't get consistency out of them, man. It's been frustrating.
We have a couple of those that are on a hunger strike, and we do what you do with your like local animal welfare guys, like our pound. They bring us some of their problem children, and they go on hunger strikes. And we've been interviewing some new trainers, and they're like, "Oh, don't they need to eat?" And I'm like, "They're not going to let themselves die, but they're not going to let themselves die, but."
They'll get close.
They'll get close.
Yeah.
But yeah, easy cheese is what we use. Easy cheese and peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter was working, then it stopped working at the same time for all 3 of them. So I'll have to keep the easy cheese in mind. It's so weird. But we have a little pitty in the kennel right now that I gotta tell you, I'd probably keep. That dog is sweet. We were at Lowe's yesterday. I'm walking around. I forgot she was there. She's so loose on the leash and she's so good. She's amazing. Little gamey on squirrels and maybe other dogs, but nice little dogs.
Small children can't take.
No, good with small. We tested it on my grandchildren, so we're good. So, anyways, Ted, who do we got tonight?
Man, taking them, you're fucking testing your pit on grandkids, man. No.
I just let them walk them. That's all.
In that vein, so everyone knows, Florida is kind of like, man, anytime something random weird happens, it's always in Florida. And so tonight it's a friend of ours. We just did an episode with another friend of ours from Tennessee. So tonight we're doing a friend of ours as a canine handler from Florida, from Central Florida, Joe Bologna. So Joe, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing tonight?
Excellent. So we're going to call this episode Florida Man.
Absolutely.
because it seems like every time something in the news is like, oh, Florida man throws an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window, and so give us a little bit of your background. We'll get started from there.
Sure. So my name's Joe Bologna, from Florida, obviously, from the Orlando area. Actually, that's where I was raised. Growing up, man, I was never really into dogs. I'll be honest with you. I had dogs growing up, but never trained them, nothing like that. We got into like the PetSmart training crap, things like that. Was never into it. I was actually more into cars and engines and girls, So that's what I did. Became a mechanic for a while and said, yeah, this ain't making money, man. It's like back then, it was like 2004, 2005-ish. And YouTube started getting big back then, so people started working on their own cars, so I couldn't make any money. So I said, what am I going to do, man? So my whole family are in cops. My dad was a cop. My cousin's a cop. So I was like, I guess I'll become a cop, Worked for an agency just north of Orlando. Put me through the academy, and that's where I got my first experience with police dogs and working dogs, things like that. We were off in the academy one day, and they were like, hey, go to this canine school. There's a city next to us. One of our guys is in canine school. Go up there, go hang out with him for the day, see what they're doing, things like that. So I was like, all right, we'll try it out. Get out there, man. And I didn't know what they were going to do to me, but they put me right in the suit. And I looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suit. There was old school Ray Allen ones. And they literally, I mean, no shit. They go, "Hey, run down this field, and when we say now, stick your arm out." I was like, "All right, man, here we go." And I ran down there. Next thing I know, I hear now, my arm goes out, and I get hit like a shotgun round right in the back of my back. And the time I didn't know what the hell kind of dog it was. It turned out to be a Malinois. And he knocked me on my ass and started shaking me, and sorry, my room be going off. And I said, "This is what I need to do, man. This is what I need to do in my life." And ever since then, I just started training, spending my own money, going to decoy school, spending my own money going to seminars, and just learning as much as I possibly can. 2013-ish, like the end of 2012, beginning of 2013, I was able to work a dog. I worked for that agency for about 9 years. And then, unfortunately, some other things happened with that agency, and I had to move on. And now I live on the west coast of Florida near Tampa. I work for an agency just northwest of Tampa here in Pasco County. So, and still training dogs, still working dogs. I got my own little pet business going on right now, and I do pet, police, things like that. And then I help the agency with their dogs and things like that. So I'll tell you, it's the greatest job in the world, like they always say. So that's me in a nutshell.
Where is your family from?
Originally?
Yeah.
We're from Long Island.
Because that ain't no fucking Orlando accent. You can fuck off with that. Get out of here, Joe.
No, so
Get out.
There's some things I say like orange, like that. There's that Florida accent, but no, my family we're all from New York. We're from Long Island, but I grew up in Orlando.
Yeah.
So,
so the story that you told about the decoy stuff, Ted and I have heard that a million times. I probably did it several times to people. They probably did to me. Maybe not so much as a brand new guy. But now that we know what we know from decoy work, I wouldn't do anything even remotely close to that. The fact that we never like broke a dog's neck or anything doing that horse shit, putting a new guy in there, some rite of passage with a dog that's on the street that we're working and everybody thought was funny. I would hope nowadays that it's probably not zero. It's definitely not zero, but would be less and less crap with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's closer to zero than it is, but it definitely happens because we still have those old school people out there, like we always say. There's old school trainers out there, obviously, and like you said, it's the rite of passage. And I thought it was fun at the time. Obviously, I was a 21-year-old kid, like hell yeah, bring it, But now it's like you said, Eric, how you didn't break teeth, necks. Anything. And then also the decoy. Like, how are you the person? Like, you have this kid, you have this guy. He has no freaking idea what he's doing, man. What if he gets hurt and tears an ACL? Now his career's over. So you gotta be a little bit smarter than that now. Obviously, now today, if I'm gonna do a testing or I'm gonna have some guy, hey, he's a new decoy, or let's post a dog out, let's bring him in, bring you in. Let's I'm gonna be guiding you to where I want to bring you, and then let's feel the pressure of the bite and stuff like that. But just to send a guy out there and 60, 70 yards, and say good luck, buddy, it's suicide. It's suicide for the dog and suicide for the decoy.
I think we've probably talked on it in here, Ted and I. I don't really do any long sends anymore.
No.
Even when I'm prepping for the certification, which for us is 40 yards, I still don't do it. When the dog recalls, I have the decoy run about halfway in and turn and send them. All the evaluators are cool with it. There's no difference between, fucking 60 feet and 120 feet. The way the speed is up there a little bit, but I think they do it so that, like in Ohio, it's 120 feet. I think they do it so that you can definitely say you can't recall a dog in 20 feet. It's unrealistic. The state gives you 120 feet, but we're not doing it. We're not doing those long sends.
The only time that we do it is during popper drills, and if I have an experienced decoy, I'll do it on a long distance. If I have one that's not, I use the cheat code where I have a corner So the dog's going to put the go fasters on go slowers and make the corner and then slows down and then we get contact. But like,
hey, what's up, little man?
Hey, say hi. Say hi.
Oh.
Thank you. You said hello. That's my son. That's my little canine trainer right there, guys. He actually loves training with the dogs and stuff. You got to see him healing with my Malinois. Phenomenal. Sorry about that, but going back to the long sense, like, yeah, I should I stop doing that 3-4 years ago, man. Like, it's like I said, it's not worth it. And really, also too, we do it in the schools. You know, our schools are like, you know, slick surfaces and stuff. So that traction's not there. Like, he's just, you know, going crazy. And then obviously whatever you want to do. You want to do a recall, or I like a down first and then recall back. That's just my, you know, what I like. Or if we're going to do it in the field, you know, we built a, it was made out of porta potties, but it was actually pretty good. Like, the decoy goes into the porta potty.
Oh,
yeah. And like, the decoy's in the suit. And next thing you know, like, we send them, dog fucking breaks recall or whatever. Get your ass in that porta potty, you know? So then what happens now? It's almost negative punishment for the dog, you know? Like, oh shit, where'd he go? And then comes back, and then, you know, but he's not getting, there's no full blast on there and getting the bite and stuff like that. So
no freebies. Yeah. What, let's talk about your dogs, man. The one, like, go through the dogs you worked, and let's talk about a little bit about each one.
My first dog, I worked, got him from Lazaro Cabrera over here at PSD.
Yep.
So
love Laz.
Yep, we love Laz. Great dog. Was a tracking machine, absolutely tracking machine. Just unfortunately, just wouldn't engage. Was right out of school, and he was just like, "Yeah, I don't like doing this. I like tracking, but I don't like biting the sleeve anymore, or biting the suit. So I'm gonna just stop." So we're like, "Yeah, we can't have that." So call Laz. Laz is obviously great, and we're really good friends. And we call him up like, "Hey, man, we got to change his dog out." He's like, I got you. Come to my house. He was, I believe, after that time was in the Netherlands. He's like, I got you. Come to my house. Go to Mario, which is his nephew or his right hand man. We got a dog for you. I walk into his house out here, and they got this airplane kennel. This dog, my dog Koss, my retired one, who I still have. He's on his last leg, but I still have him. They had him like strapped down pretty much on the ground still, and the kennel's just going boom, 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 boom. I go, bro, I'm a brand new handler. Like, I've got, you know, I've trained dogs and I've been getting bites and bite work and stuff, but you want me to take this freaking thing? And he was just full of piss and vinegar shepherd, man. And I worked him for close to 10 years, and great dog, multiple street bites on him. Just an absolute machine. And
he's a Mal?
He's a shepherd.
Shepherd, okay.
Shepherd. And then right now, so a little bit also about me too. So I do have a Dutchy Shepherd right now. He's a single purpose dog. I also work for a cargo screening company part time out of the port of Tampa, and we do narcotics sniffs for the luggage out there for a cruise ship company. So my dog Chase, he's my little Dutchy Shepherd, and I trained him up. I was going to train him as a police dog. That kind of went sideways as well. So I was like, well, screw it. I'll just keep him. And I got him single purpose canine, single purpose narcotics dog. And he's great at that, man. So
the dog that you worked first that had all the bites, Koss, you said his name?
Koss, Kass. Yeah.
Nice.
I kept the name. That was the name he came with. So
nice. What didn't you like? What don't you like about him working?
Koss?
Yeah.
Dog. I guess I would say he had the same personality as me, man. Just stubborn little shithead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this dog would not out a toy, Eric, if anything. I mean, and again, going back to the old school way, if I knew what I knew now, you know what I'm saying? We always say that, right? I wish I knew what I knew now, right? This dog just would not let go of a toy, would not bite work. He was great at. Like, you tell that dog Ouse, he pops off a suit, he pops off a sleeve. But
he had higher possession on a toy than he did a person.
Absolutely. And I mind you, at this time, like I said, I'm a brand new handler. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and no one's. Well, you know, he just has very high prey drive, and that's what he is, and so you got to deal with it. I'm like, got to deal with it. What the fuck? So, you know, they double box this dog a lot too, and I was like, what is going on? Again, if I knew what I know now, and I think that was the biggest thing with him was just he was just, when it came to the toy, man, dope work for me, for him and I it was a fight. It was a fight every time, because I'd find drugs. Like we'd find the drugs in the car and stuff. But when I got back to my car, the fight's on, man, for that toy, And
I have a handler that I have a mountain of respect for, who's one of my handlers, who has one of my dogs, who's been a guest on this show, that has a dog like that. That the dog is. I posted a video of that dog outing from a mile away. Like, so far, it was in a different area code in a building off the decoy, right? Non-verbal. Like, we hit him with tone, and he's like, boop, and out and come back. But if we give him a ball, we're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah,
so so the handler doesn't give him a ball. He gets a blast hose, or he gets like one of these little like tugs that's like the size of a computer mouse, and he'll out those all day long. Give him a ball, it's not happening.
Quick story: I had a bailout of a car one night after a pursuit. And this pursuit, dude, it was actually one of the best pursuits I've been in. But I was in a Crown Vic, guys, and we're going Baja right in front of the police station, like in the grass, taking trees down, everything, right? And we're going, and guy we crashed into a tree. I crashed my Crown Vic in the back of him. This guy bails out, dude. He is the fastest human being in the world, right? So I bail out costs, and he goes, and he runs right into an apartment complex. And I'm like, oh, God. So I'm running behind him, and dude, there are people just scattering everywhere, right? So I hear screaming in the middle of this apartment complex, and I can't find him. And I scream. I'm like, Koss, Al's here. I hear the screaming absolutely stops, and here comes Koss running back to me. And I was like, holy crap, man, that was pretty awesome. We find the guy later on, and he got apprehended again, and he goes, well, this is where he first bit me this first time. So he actually got him the first time, out him. But like you said, man, when it came to a toy, though, even Jesus couldn't freaking get this dog out. So
yeah, that's always frustrating, and every fight makes it worse.
Every fight
makes it worse. So
for those listening, do Eric's e-collar course.
Yeah, follow my e-collar class. I'll teach you how to get rid of that.
Tone avoidance. I just taught the same thing a couple weeks ago in Oklahoma City, and it works. And I don't care what someone else says, but tone avoidance works. It does not ruin dogs.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
If you're listening to this, there you go.
I will second that.
So besides it, so at the PD you're at now, are you currently working a dog?
So not now. I'm not working a dog right now. We're trying to get there. Hopefully, I'm hoping in the next couple of months, I'll be working a dog. It's a smaller agency right now.
Yeah.
Actually smaller than where I came from, but it's an area where it's busy. We are busy. I think we ran, I want to say yesterday we ran about almost 50 calls, about that. For 4 square miles.
Your shift?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's busy.
We are inundated. We are inundated. It's a nice city. It's a nice city. I'll say that. But it has their stuff. It's a lot of people in a very small, compact area. But yeah, we're trying to work. We have 3 dogs right now. Unfortunately, right when I started, they picked the third handler. So I just missed it by a year. But decent guys, man, really good guys that are working dogs right now for this agency. And the chief is thinking about putting a 4th on, and fingers crossed, hopefully I'll get it, so.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hope. All right. We're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk to Joe about things that he's seen over the years and during currently maybe some training problems that lead to issues on the street and some mistakes that we're seeing, and maybe we can help somebody. If you're listening, and we might be talking to you. We never know. Maybe a guy you work with. So stick around, check out the commercials. If you skip them, please support our people, because we love them and we support them. So stick around. We'll be right back.
We're pleased to have as a sponsor Specs K9. They believe that in any adventure, whether work or play, is better with a dog by your side to keep them protected with you no matter what. Specs designs and manufactures performance-driven dog gear for the active and working dog. Specifically, what do they make, though? So if you wanted to get some goggles for the dog, which is great protecting them from UV rays, sticks, seeds, ducks, right, hunting dogs, and rocks, FEMA guys, think about tracking or working in thick cover, rotor wash, dust and sandstorms, nasty basements or attics, or at the range. And specifically, they have interchangeable lenses. They got a dark one, and then they have a clear one. used by professionals worldwide. One of my favorite things that they actually make is the Ear Pro. It's something that we use all the time. So one of the things that we do at our handler schools is we do obedience under gunfire with a handler shooting and with backup shooting, and move from target to target. And the dogs actually wear the Ear Pro while we're working all the time, and we treat it just like we treat a muzzle. So the dogs will muzzle up, wear the Ear Pro, wear the muzzle, we're good to go. It knocks it down between 18 and 24 decibels, all made in quality in the United States. Rex Specs, REXSPECS.com, at Rex Specs K9, letter K number 9 on the Instagrams and the Facebook, Working Dog Radio, for your 20% off.
All right, we just finished the HITS K9 Training Conference this year in Phoenix, and what a great time it was. What a great turnout, great instructions. I don't know, like 1,300 guys there. It was amazing. Well, guess what? They're coming back next year, August 21st to the 23rd in New Orleans. You do not want to miss it, guys. I'm telling you, it's amazing. The giveaways, the instruction, the instructors, the hanging around at night, getting to meet people. And Ted and I will both be teaching there. If you check them out, hitsk9.net, or check them out online. They're everywhere, hitsk9.net. Sign up next year. Do not wait. We had a lot of people that waited too long and had to stay at a different hotel than host hotel. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out. You will not find a larger conference to go to. It is by handlers, for handlers. You definitely don't want to miss it out. Hitsk9.net. New Orleans.
We get it. Fueling a working dog can be tough, but they need high quality food to give them energy and nutrients they require for work and keep their gut healthy for everything that we ask them to do. Kinetic dog food is a great balance of healthy meats and grains and is made specifically for working and sporting dogs. They have a full line of foods and supplements available. The supplements are actually really cool. They have a weight gainer, and they have an electrolyte one too, which is we actually use the kennel as it's so hot all the time in Oklahoma. And they've been working to perfect their line with thousands of dogs in hundreds of departments across the U.S. And you can buy it locally, or you can buy it online at Tractor Supply and Chewy. So hit them up at Kinetic Dog Food. That's going to be good for Instagram and Facebook. Just spell it out. And then kineticdogfood.com. Or you can send out a text. Like if you have a question, you can call them and just talk to Dave. Area code 513-615-6904. And that dude loves to talk about nutrition labels and what's actually in the food you're feeding versus what they have. So hit them on kineticdogfood.com.
It's no secret that we love Ray Allen Canine Equipment. We use their products every single day. Their mission statement says it all: to be a world leader in quality and innovation of professional canine equipment for police, military, Schutzen, and ring sport, to exceed our customers' expectations, deliver on time, every time at a fair price. We full-heartedly believe they've held true to that statement, since it is our go-to one-stop shop for everything canine and everything dogs. They got a brand new training app. You can get on there and you can track your training for each and every single dog that you do. They do new product collaborations. Just ask Mike Jones out of Primal Canine. He's done some great stuff with them. They'll work with you. RayAllen.com. WDR10 for 10% off. We love them. We use them all the time. Matt and the folks out there are great people. We see them also everywhere we go. They're out in sunny Colorado. RayAllen.com. WDR10 for 10%. All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. Me, Eric, and my co-host Ted with Joe Bologna from Florida. We've Ted and I have both known Joe for a while. Where did we go? I can't remember why I was in Florida. You and I went to dinner and had a drink.
Yeah, you were at that skiing thing.
Oh, yeah. I went down there with some friends for the World Ski thing. That's right.
Is that when you got your head injury, Eric?
No. Oh, wait, it might have been. Was it when I went there for the wakeboard?
Your other head injury?
Yeah.
Wakeboarding thing out there.
Wakeboarding, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple concussions. I was like 52 years old. That's so stupid. 51, 52. So anyways, we're talking to Joe about his time working with his dog. This reminded you, man, I forgot I wanted to say this at the beginning. You're talking about your dog who's on his last leg, right?
Yeah.
Back in my old department in Canton, there recently we had a dog who I trained when I was there, myself and Chris, his handler, who I've known Chris since about 1994, I think. And his dog Zane, this was his second dog, Zane. We got Zane. He was like 11 months old, Malinois. I picked him up from breeder, and took him to, I forget where it was. I put him in the car and I was talking to the vendor, not a breeder, but the vendor for a while. I come back in and he'd eaten like the side curtain airbag out of the back of the car. So he was a free dog, but he immediately cost us like $6,000.
Mhm.
So I took him to Chris's house, and him and Chris had a really good career, dual purpose explosive dog. He retired, had cancer. They lopped off one of his legs. He lived for a little while here, and he just passed 3 weeks ago. But anyways, Chris and I don't get along anymore, which is unfortunate. His fault and my fault. I can admit I think he's been a jerk off to me, and I've been a jerk off to him. But and he'll hear this, and that's fine. I don't care, Chris. It doesn't matter. Zane was pretty awesome. He was a good dog. So, anyways, let's talk about the topic at hand. Things that you're seeing in training that ends up manifests itself on the street.
Absolutely. So, like we talked earlier today, obviously training has evolved, correct? A lot of guys are doing the scenario-based training. It's the new thing. That's what they want to do. That's what's going on. It's not. We're done with the, hey, get your dog, send them in the building. Hey, get the next dog, same building. Next dog, same building, and so on and so forth, or the same track or whatever. And obviously, like we said, we have evolved from that. It's all fun and dandy, and you can train and do your scenario-based training.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when now training day is over and we come back to the street? Okay, and the biggest thing I'm hearing now is, well, this dog is so good at training, but he can't find shit when it really happens, right? Well, that's what I'm seeing on my end, and not just at this, not where I'm at now, but different agencies around the state and around the country, obviously. So how do we help that? How do we change that? Well, my opinion, we change that by training just doesn't stop at training day, right? And I think we will agree with that. We have to continue our tracking. We have to continue work in the building and stuff like that. And the options are endless, right? Endless for what you can do. My personal opinion is, I think besides detection work, which is probably for our handlers out here, is probably 90% of the work, right? We have a huge drug problem out here. Obviously, fentanyl is rapid out in the side of the state. But I believe, we have to find people. That's our biggest goal, right? Our finding people. You have to continue. You just can't go on a Tuesday training day and say, hey, just a training day is going to be it, and that's it. You have to continue that. So how do we do that? Well, we put tracks down, right? I'm big on tracking, huge in tracking. And Eric, I've stolen stuff from you to start tracking, things like that, with the 3 tracks with the toy.
Mm-hmm.
And run the same track. I've done that. I'm very big on the Dick Stahl method of tracking to an article. I love doing that. Or and just or tracking to, just to a toy or whatever, just getting your reps in. But we're not seeing that, right? We're not seeing that out here. We're not getting these guys are not getting their reps in. They're saying, well, it's enough. Tuesday training is enough. Or Wednesday training is enough. Whatever day you train. And to me, it's just not. And I'm seeing the downfall of it. I really am. For me, I when I was running a dog, I literally would put down at least 5 to 6 tracks a night, at least. Okay. We have the downtime, unless you're working in a super crazy busy city. You have the downtime, and trust me, you do. I've seen guys with their feet kicked up, and you could be training your dog. 5 to 6 tracks a night. Usually 2 to 3 self tracks, and I usually would have a guy run a track for me. And the biggest thing is, the last thing I would do is I'd try to find like a homeless person, right, and watch them like a creeper. Like I'm still one creeping behind them with no lights on. Like, where you going, buddy? And then next thing you know, start the track from there, and then end it wherever he goes into where he goes. So that's how you get better, is obviously reps after reps after reps after reps. A lot of people don't like doing bite work during training. I've noticed that here. And it's crazy.
What?
Yeah, we've had some people say no bite work during unless you are going to training day. Yeah, it's stuff like that. So it's like, can you show different ways of bite work? Can you show different ways of biting? Bites, different placement bites, and bites in the legs, bites in the forearms, bites in the triceps. A lot of guys don't have that. They only bite on training day. So I'm just seeing, you're just noticing just the downfall. Like, yeah, my dog is great on training day, but what happens the other 6 days of the week?
How do you approach training groups and things like to fix that? Where do you start?
Well, I'm very I don't mind just going to them and saying, "Hey, man, this sucks."
Mm.
You got to change something. Out where I'm at, it's you could see that their training is pretty solid, right? It's very solid, but a lot of other agencies out there. There's an agency that I help out here, that trainers, their training guy's not even he's not even an FDLE certified trainer. He's not a certified trainer for anything. Real nice kid, real nice guy. He wants to learn so much, but it's like, how do I start? They give me this unit and it's like, good luck kind of thing, So I'll just go to them like, hey man, you need to do this, and this if you want to be successful, And again, it's start with the reps, man. Get your reps in. Your training day isn't just supposed to be. Your training day is supposed to do like your scenario stuff, right? But again, your other days of work, you have to put in the work in, or you're not, like I said, you're not going to be successful at it. So I'm not afraid to go in there and tell them like, hey, I'll write you, guys, I'll write you a training plan if you want me to. Like, I'll write you a training plan and say, here, this is what needs to be done. And this is just my opinion. This is what needs to be done. And this is how much needs to be done to get this dog on track. And some dogs might need less. Some dogs might need more. It depends on what kind of dog you have.
Ted, where was that we were at? Was it one of the hits where the kid came up to us and said, I get so much information on your podcast because he's like, they put him in charge of a training group of like, I don't know, say eight dogs or whatever. He's the senior guy and he had like a year on.
Yeah.
So they made him the trainer.
Yeah.
It was a training group of shit. It was in Maryland. So it was 5 or 6 years ago. And he's probably listening to this. He's going to send us an email or an Instagram message. But he was from somewhere in the middle, like Nebraska, Iowa, like somewhere in that area. And he was in a training group of 8. And I think he'd been a cop for 5 years. And he was the most senior cop and most senior handler. And he'd been a handler for 3 years.
Jesus.
That's right.
And he was like, I don't, and I probably butchered that. And if you're listening to this, I don't remember your name. I remember talking to you, and I'm sorry. Email me, and don't be mad. But because I talk about you all the time. Anyway, so, but yeah, and like they don't know what they don't know. And on top of that, he worked for an agency. It was a sheriff's department. And the dogs are from neighboring agencies and city agencies. So they had like 8, like multiple counties, multiple cities, whatever else. And none of the admins had dog experience, like, unless it was like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, oh, fuck, we don't know. Just do this. And I'm like, and so I remember talking to this kid at Hits, and Eric and I were both like, yo, dude, like, no, that's not how you do things anymore. So, and he said, yeah. I don't think that's an isolated. I don't think that's isolated. So
it's not. You're seeing that more and more, right? You're seeing that, of course, especially in the day and age of police, right, and policing itself. Okay, you're seeing canine handlers have less experience because, hey, we don't have enough officers. We need to fill our canine unit. And, Mr. Johnny over here only has, has 2 years experience. He was a go-getter, but what does he know? And next thing you know, now he's a trainer. What happens when you go to court? You know what I'm saying? How do you, as a trainer, you know what I'm saying? How do you testify? Like, yeah, I signed off on this. Well, what's your certifications? What do you know? Like, what is your experience? I don't have any. I had a leash once, something like that. I used to get made fun of a lot because when I would have a track, like I could do a track or a building, whatever you want to call. After I was said and done, let's say I didn't find the guy, or or it was empty or something. I would say, hey, we're gonna run this exact track, or we're gonna run a track now in the same neighborhood. And it's like, why do you do that? Well, I do that because, one, I want to get better, right, as a handler and as a trainer, but I also want to get my dog better, and I want to get my squad better in setting up perimeters. Like, we would do we would go right back into it, lights back on, you're tracking, you're running, and go right back into it, because you have to get that rep in. And another thing too is I want to pay my dog, right, that he did good. I want to say, hey, you did good, and give him something. So they would always say, like, well, you're like, you're always going. Yeah, I'm always going because I want to be the best, and that's my mentality. And I think that's what you're not seeing here. Is it's mostly you guys talked about this before. It's no longer, hey, I want to be a canine handler, and I want to go find bad guys, and I want to be the best out there. No, it's what kind of car am I going to get? Am I getting a red dot on my gun? Am I getting the cool, what canine patch am I getting? And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of now today.
Yeah, that's yeah, I can see that. That's been like that for a while though. But so in the training groups, in scenario based training, Ted and I, we talk about this stuff we have for years all over the country. A lot of guys, when they go to the training days, they're pretty cool with teaching. Like, you can throw all the kitchen sink at the dog, right? All you want, everything you want to do for the dog. But the handler, I ain't here to be trained myself. Mm-hmm. So you get pushback on scenarios that are decision making scenarios for the cops. How do you get them to buy in on that?
I try to I'll put them in a scenario where I'll put them in a scenario if I see that they're not really really into it. Like you said, I'll put them in a scenario where it's either life or death, and really show them, what can happen to you on this stuff. A lot of these guys, they've never had a real find, or they never had a find where, guys told you, hey, you come in here, I'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? I've had that. Put them in a life and death scenario, and I'm talking like real life. Dog comes in, and next thing you know, that dog comes in, he bites the suit, let's say, and next thing you know, that decoy ain't feeling nothing, and now he's attacking that officer, and you're putting it on him. You're putting it on him, and you're showing that officer, hey, this could really happen. You get one of these guys that's hopped up on whatever the name drug here, okay, and he ain't stopping, he ain't feeling pain. Good luck, because you're by yourself now, let's say, with only you and a dog, and I'm not coming. I'm sitting, I'm watching this from the background, and I will let that decoy, put it on him, and put him to life or death scenario.
So it's funny you mentioned that. Like our buddy Billy Sawyer up in Colorado, up in Longmont, Billy just posted online a scenario he was running with his training group, and it was inspired by some dash cam that went around of
that was horrible,
of an officer basically just kind of fucking standing there while another officer's fucking fighting for their fucking life, right? So Billy's like, I want to see what the fuck happens here. And he could tell, he was like, the other handlers would come out of the room, and and if you've ever been through, well, Joe, you've been through HRD, but if you've listened to been through HRD, there's a scenario that we do where we give some instructions to some of the backup guys that you're fucking worthless. And it has a profound effect, right? In the scenario that I'm talking about, HRE has a different effect than what we're talking about here. But Billy ran a scenario that was similar to that, where you had a backup officer that was fucking worthless, and like you're in there fucking fighting, and you're like, yo, and this happens a lot. There's an ongoing thing in Eric's state with a canine handler that I got asked to review some stuff on, and during the body cam footage, the handler actually asked the backup guys. He literally is like, "Yo, can you fucking help me?" And I was like, "Yikes!"
Yeah.
So that is not and that brings up an interesting point too, because we talk about training a lot, right? Like canine guys, and I have to remind admins of this. And I had a large agency stopped by the kennel tonight, and I had to remind them, or we reminded them that, K9 is one of the few units that has a mandated minimum amount of training, other than mental health hours and like what are the other bullshit that everybody has to do. Not that mental health hours aren't important, but whatever. But everybody knows what I mean. And K9 is one of those units that has Eric, how many mandatory SWAT hours do you guys have to train? Mandatory.
0.
SWAT trains all the fucking time. Like they train
There's
all the fucking time.
Always training. Yeah.
Yeah. And they train fucking like our SWAT guys here in Tulsa. They are constantly training. They're almost a full-time unit.
Mm-hmm.
And 0 mandatory training other than their fucking bullshit cleat shit that they have to do once a year for their firearms qualification or whatever, mental health hours. K9 is the only unit that has a mandatory minimum amount of training that should be done. And we really drive that home with administrators. And on top of that, you need to have your non-K9 people work with your guys, work with your K9 guys, and everybody needs to be on the same fucking page. And it's a thing. And it has gotten weird in the last 15, 16 months with some cases that have come up.
I want to touch on that. And I think that's our problem here too, is there is a mandatory, right? And I've been hearing that a lot. Well, it's mandatory. I say, yeah, we have to have mandatory training, right? Mandatory hours, I should say. But that should be thrown out the window. Like that should be literally thrown out the window. And I fight with this too. I fought my old administration's like, you guys allow me 16 hours a month, but I'm going to be training. I want to be training every single day I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Give me that. I need that because again, my 16 hours a month or whatever we trained at during that time is just not enough. It's just not enough. But the thing is, they hear mandatory and they say, well, that's it. That's all they're going to get. So I think the mandatory just needs to get out of their heads and say, you guys got to do you and just, be the best out there and don't get hurt. And that's the biggest thing. I think that's what we're going to see here is just people going to start getting hurt more because again, now all these K9 guys are wearing body cameras now. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when the body cameras first came out, the K9 guys, you don't wear body cameras. You don't wear body cameras because if you wear a body cam, you see it. I mean, Marion County always shows their stuff, right? Marion County puts a Facebook post almost every single day. And you could see it's literally a dog fight out there. And people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Well, that's what this is. It's a very dangerous position and very gruesome position, I should say. So.
Yeah. I agree. You're dead on with the 16 hours that they're like, that's what you get. It's what it says. But like we talk all the time about, most SWAT teams in the country, the 99% of them are part-time teams. Some are busy part-time, like my old department. It's a joint team. They're very busy, but they get tons and tons and tons of training. Mm-hmm. And K9 guys get their two a month. And the last chief, he cut them down to 1 a month. Mm-hmm. And so the SWAT team is used once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And the K9 guys are used 22, 23 times a shift.
Yeah. Every shift.
Yeah.
Like some of our guys, and your guys too. Some of my guys have some where they've had 3 or 4 apprehensions a shift.
Yeah.
In one fucking shift. So they're either tracking a felony suspect that is violent and has committed a crime against a person, maybe with a weapon, maybe not, but has committed violent crime against a person and fled. And they're doing that 3 or 4 times a shift, and SWAT is like, meh.
And SWAT, you got 8 or 9 guys behind you that are fully trained. And as a K9 guy, you're hoping that your backup officer doesn't hate dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or is at least from the same agency.
The same agency, exactly. An agency where I used to work, the agency right next to us, the city right next to us, they didn't have dogs, so I was always going there. And it's like every time I would deploy, it was a different person every single time. And one time I actually had that. I'm halfway into a deployment. I'm in the woods, like we're on this guy, and I'm in the woods. And next thing you know, the guy goes, "Hey man, I don't want your dog to bite me. This is the backup guy." And I'm like, "Dude, just stay with me." And he's like, "Well,
Stay out of the fucking way.
I'm definitely afraid of dogs." And he just freezes. "I'm definitely afraid of dogs." And I'm like, "You fucker, like get the hell away from me." You know what I'm saying? Now I'll just do it myself.
Why are you the guy here?
Yeah, why are you? And I mean, obviously, it's sometimes. And now I'm like, do I literally have to like do an interview with somebody? Like, hey, are you afraid of dogs? Are you in shape to do this? I mean, no, we don't have time for that. So like I said, the SWAT guys, you'll have 8 or 9 guys behind you who are highly trained. Good luck who your runner is, and that's why we used to run. I don't know, Eric, if you guys did this where you work, but we try to have canine handlers run with us. And we were our agencies together, where I worked in Seminole County, we worked very well together. So like if the sheriff's office had a deployment, I would either, I would go with that guy or vice versa. So it was always a canine guy with us. And then usually another guy with us as a gun guy. So,
if we could, if there was 2 of us there, first guy there, he gets the dibs, and then you get to go, you go with him. But I probably, in my time doing canine handling as a backup guy, probably only a handful of times, maybe 4 or 5 times. It's just the nature of the way our shifts were scheduled.
Yeah.
It was not all that often. We had each shift had like 3 dogs or 2 dogs, and they weren't always working at the same time. It was so it wasn't all that popular. So
I had a guy call me, and he's like, "Hey, I mean, this is northern Florida," and he's like, "Dude, I run by myself. I don't have the
I've done that."
I'm like, Jesus,
terrible.
I mean, it's so dangerous.
Eric, if you were one of my handlers, I would fucking yell at you.
Yeah.
Don't you ever fucking track alone.
Or dude, I would do building searches by myself. Guys hanging outside because
God damn it,
the dog. Yeah, it was so stupid. I know it was stupid. But so anyways, we're gonna go and take our next commercial break. When we come back, I got some training questions for Joe that'll probably surprise you guys a little bit. But go ahead and stick around. Again, don't fast forward through the commercials. If you do, check the show notes for the discount codes. We got a lot of them in there. So we'll be right back. Stick around. Some of our oldest sponsors are the Perkinsons down in North Carolina at Highland Canine Training. We love those folks. We see them everywhere. All the stuff that we do, we go to, we have a good time with them. But the fact is, they're really good dog trainers. They're really good dog people. They got full courses in person and online. They got a dog trainers course that you can go down there and learn how to train working dogs, pet dogs, everything. They do a lot of business stuff on there. But one of the best things they have is an online supervisor course. The course discusses topics such as proper selection of dogs, handlers, proper deployment, and FLSA issues. 30% off with that with the discount code WDR30. Great people down there. They know their stuff. TacticalPoliceCanineTraining.com is the website. TacticalPoliceCanineTraining.com. WDR30 for 30% off the online supervisor's course. Guys, you need to get on there and check them out. They are great. Highland Canine Training. Don't miss out.
One of the longtime sponsors of the show is Dogtra. Eric and I are actually both field staff guys. So Dogtra has been committed for over 20 years to crafting training collars to perfect precise fit and finish and intuitive design and accountable performance. The 1900 SE collar demonstrates what they strive for, which is an ultimate dog training tool that is durable, dependable, and designed for the most demanding conditions. And I actually use this thing at the kennel. They have the new black one that has the lock and the boost feature on it, as well as the hands-free, which we use a ton. If you guys follow me on social media, you see that I use that during tracking, and we do that negative reinforcement trick, which is what is the collar that we're using. The other thing is the YS600. So funny fact, it stands for Yo, Shut Up. The number of times that you won't have to say it because it works every time. So use the discount code WDR10 for 10% off any single item over $200. And of course, they also have the popper and the dropper, which I think I have 5 of at the kennel. I use all the time. So hit them up, dogtra.com, WDR10 for 10% off a single item over $200.
Brand new advertiser, guys, Rec Specs. We love them. They believe that any adventure, work, or play is better with a dog by your side to keep them protected with you no matter what. Rec Specs designs and manufactures performance-driven dog gear for the active and working dog. 20% off your first order. Discount code Working Dog Radio.
It's no secret that I love my ALM suit from Arnaud out at ALM K9 Equipment in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. I've had that thing forever. Eric affectionately refers to it as my Carhartt suit because it's so thin. I've had multiple sleeves put back on it, send it back to Arnaud. He fixes me up every single time. The fit and finish is top notch, and it fits me like a glove. I refuse to go anywhere without it. I work sport dogs and PSA without it. I just did a trial in California, wore that thing. I work police dogs pretty much every day of the week, and then I use it for personal protection dogs as well. So hit ALM K9 Equipment up on Instagram and Facebook, and then go to ALMK9, letter K number 9, equipment.com, and use the discount code WD Radio for 10% off of your first order. And this is completely custom, so made to measure. Pick your colors, whatever you want to do. Arnaud will work with you. You can make it as thin or as thick as you want, but hit them up. ALMK9 Equipment.
Ever dreamed of having your own kennel but don't know where to start? Horizon Structures has taken all of the guesswork out of building a kennel. Everything is pre-built to your specifications and preferences and then assembled and dropped off on your land. Boom, new kennel. Hooked up to your electric, hooked up to your water, put dogs in it that day. And those things are amazing. You've got to see them to truly believe them. Get on the website, horizonstructures.com. You can custom build. You can buy one that's already built, go off of their design, come up with your own design. They'll work with you. They always are running discounts on the website with the ready-to-go kennels. The kennels are already ready to go. There's always discounts. Horizonstructures.com. Check them out. All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. Myself and Ted are with our friend Joe from Florida. Florida Man is the name of this episode. We're going to call it
Florida Man.
That's right. So what I want to talk about is something I talk about in my class briefly, my seminars on removing conflict or e-collar without conflict. And I talk about, I ask everybody in the audience, how many of you canine handlers teach or train pets? And one or two will do it. And myself years ago, and it's brought up to me all the time by one of my guys, Mike. I remember you saying, "Fuck that! I ain't never fucking teaching pets." Almost identical to Ted saying it several times over the years. I will never train pets. But what I tell everybody in my class, I say, first of all, guys, you're in your uniform too much. You're working too many side jobs, too many extra duty jobs. I get the overtime stuff because it goes in your pension a lot of places and kind of that. But I'm like, people want you as a canine handler to train their dog. Now, granted, you have to learn a better way than training like a police dog, but I said they want you to. So there's a way for you to make really good money unrelated to police work and training dogs. But I absolutely believe wholeheartedly that if you want to get better as a trainer of police dogs, you should train pet dogs. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, you hit that nail on the head right off the bat. My training has completely changed my police dog training because I have started training pets. Okay. Obviously I think we all came from it, the whole, cranking the dog on a pinch collar, choke collar, et cetera, whatever, and I came from that, toned it down a little bit, obviously. And because, we would have people videotape us and stuff during training, but it was still that harsh, like boosts and everything like that. It was very, monotone and loud, very angry. Few years into my canine training, my buddy of mine said, "Hey, I have this lab. Would you help me train him?" And I'm like, what the hell do I know about training a lab? I train Malleys and Shepherds and stuff like that. I said, all right, I'll train him. Let's see what happens. And I think when I started training this lab, I was like, I'm going to bring this to my police side. And, I think I'm one of thousands of trainers now that food has completely changed my way of my thinking. Okay. I use food for everything now. Okay. And then obviously bring out eventually removing food, go to a toy, things like that. But just the way of, there's no more conflict. The conflict's gone, and you're seeing where that, like we talked about earlier with my shepherd. Okay, my Malinois here, my crazy Dutchie that I have, I trained all in food. I even trained his out using food. Okay, and tone avoidance. Thank you, Eric. The tone, the tone training. Okay, and I paired the out of a toy with tone and food, tone and food, tone, stem, food, and like I said, it's completely changed my training on the police side, and getting away from the all cranking of the pinch collar and taking away that conflict. Now the dog works with you, not against you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and what I tell them guys is, police dog trainers have it pretty easy in that the dog's highly motivated for food or toy. In the pet world, half of them, maybe 60% will work for food. 0 will work for a toy. None of them. They like toys. They'll play with them. They're not going to work for them under any circumstances. So what works with those dogs is pressure. Leash and collar pressure and e-collar pressure, and teaching the dog to turn off the pressure and then to avoid it altogether by doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
It made me, I'm telling you, before I started training pets, I had gotten decent with an e-collar. I used to suck, man. Like when I was training police dogs full time for the department, I was slowly getting better, but I was still, fuck it. I don't need to work out until 2 weeks before cert. I'll just smoke, put them all and smoke them up until it didn't work. And then so I had to start learning from different people, and I was getting better when I left. But my e-collar system has changed 10 times since I left. Where I'm at now is where I'm going to be, but it's because of pets, not because of police dogs, because of pets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your timing on pressure and understanding negative reinforcement and pressure on, pressure off, if you don't really know what negative reinforcement is, has made me infinitely faster, better, and so much nicer doing the training without talking to the dog.
Yeah. We have a dog that came in Wednesday, and he came in from the vendor that Eric and I use. And this guy, Milan, called me, or called Alicia and said, if you don't take this dog, you get the angel wings. And I was like, all right, so like, what the fuck happened to him, right? It's this big ass German Shepherd. He's solid black. He's got brown feet. And I'm like, so what's the deal with this dog? And he's like, yo, he fucked up a trainer because they were trying to put odor on him, and they were trying to get him closer to odor, and he popped him with a collar, and the dog went after him. And I'm like, all right, noted. So when he got shipped in, he had a muzzle on that was zip tied. So when he got here, my trainer, Jaden, my head trainer and kennel manager, and I were like, yeah, okay. So Jaden hops in the kennel with him. We cut the muzzle off. And we start food training almost immediately. They had to put the muzzle on this dog when he was under for his x-rays. And today, I've got video of it. I'll probably post it in the next week or so, of the dog willingly putting in one session, putting his nose into a muzzle and accepting it, and then going right back to it over and over and over again, 0 conflict, and then moving. And the first time this dog has ever had an e-collar on, because he came from Germany where they've banned all this bullshit. The dog using negative reinforcement he already knows it down, right? So I do the Dick Stall thing too, right? We start with articles first before tracking, right? So that's how I imprint the e-collar. The dogs are introduced to the e-collar with articles before they're tracking. That's how we start it, right? So, and Justin Rigney said this the other day, negative reinforcement preps the dog for what to do with positive punishment. So like I layer on a level 10-ish, 10, I think it's like a 10 or 11 on a Dogtra, one of the new like black limited edition, what is that thing, the 1900, whatever, the new one. And the dog in 3 reps is sending into I call it the runway, my little Skinner box thing. He's sending from a distance, downing onto an article. with no resistance, no pressure, nothing, just like immediately, whoosh, and pressure comes off. Dog starts getting fed in the bowl, calling back, sending back over and over and over and over and over again. And this is a dog that had put some people in the hospital.
Yeah.
And this is his first training session. And it was because Jaden and I am really good about not picking fights with these fucking dogs if I don't have to, because this dog's going to hurt somebody. And I told everybody at the kennel, I was like, I don't care if he puts anybody in the hospital after he leaves and goes to his department. He ain't putting anybody in the hospital while he's here. So, and it's zero conflict. Like, the dog was happy to work, and he doesn't like French fries, which is fucking weird. He likes hot dogs though, which is cool. So I'm good with that. But so it was zero conflict, but I could see it. I told Jaden multiple times, like, man, if you fuck with him too much on that collar, he's gonna blast you.
Yep.
And Jaden's really good with collar pressure, and he was great. And the dog, like, he acted like he'd been doing it for weeks, and I'm like, all right. So it definitely has reduced conflict, and we can take some gnarly, because this is one of those dogs, and I have 15 dogs in the last year, that if you were to go to these huge kennels and everybody knows who they are, these are the dogs you would not be able to test, because they're going to fucking destroy you getting them out of the kennel.
Yep.
They are going to try and hurt you getting them out of the kennel, and they would never get selected as a green dog.
We got a dog right now. His name's Havoc. I don't know. I posted him on my Facebook and Instagram a few weeks ago. But this lady I'm training with her beautiful Malinois, absolutely beautiful Malinois, could be a police dog tomorrow. But she wanted to do EOD training, so I'm doing the odor pays box from Cameron. I don't know if you got. I'm getting great results from that. But going back to pressure and e-collar, when we got it on there, I mean, he loves food. This dog's a vacuum cleaner, right? He goes into the box, boom, boom, boom. When you start the ration with him, though, he starts getting aggressive, right? He starts pawing at the pawn. So
drive starts building, and
building, right? So she's an old school Schutzen trainer. Like, she is into the Schutzen way. Next thing you know,
I see where this is going.
So next thing you know, I'm at the box. She's doing, she's pulling, and we're doing opposition reflex and stringing to the box. Boom, boom, boom. He gets to the box. He paws. Boom. She goes 9. Bop, pops in. This dog goes almost up her arm. I'm like, holy shit! This dog's gonna kill her, right? I said, all right, not a problem. I said, let's do this again. We go to the box. Go to the box again. I said, give me the e-collar remote. Just give me the e-collar remote and just let it be. You just hold the leash, okay? Hold the leash. Put him on a flat, hold the leash. Comes in, goes in, he starts pawing. I do tone stem immediately, tone stem. No shit, I think after 2 sessions, that dog will not paw at anything and will stare at that can I think we got him good for over 20 seconds last couple of days. So
that's really good.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing when you take the conflict out of the situation, what happens.
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't been to my class or can't get to it or don't want to do it, basically one of the things it comes down to is remove your voice from the corrections, right? We want your voice to be a command. We want the behavior to be a correction, because if the behavior causes the correction, the behavior will go away, right? The behavior of pawing at the box, or not sitting, not recalling, not downing when he's told. So stop pairing your 9 and your correction at the same time, or anything else with your correction. You want the dog to believe that his behavior caused him. So you guys would, if you just think that way, you really enjoy it, because there's no talking. Right now we have a deaf pit bull mix in our kennel that we're training. It's the best, dude. You don't have to say a fucking word.
You still talk to it though, don't you?
Of course.
Because it makes you feel better.
What I do is I have music playing and I sing the music. I sing the music real loud, and it doesn't do anything. Because, guys, I got news for you. Police dogs, pet dogs, anything, if you talk incessantly to the dog or singing or whatever, you'll actually make them neurotic and a disaster. I just watched it happen in my handler class.
Mm-hmm.
The guy talked so much that the dog started eating grass all the time.
Going back, it's like, oh, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
If your track is sook,
that's losing its mind. Losing his mind.
You're making them
Once
crazy.
and shut up.
But here's something I want all the audience to think about. This is a saying that I've been using, and it kind of hits people. Is I tell them in the police dog stuff, your dog needs a leader to fight for, not a punisher to fight against or fear. And what happens is with working dogs, when they fear even your presence because this motherfucker's here, I'm in trouble. I can't do anything right. I can't even make the slightest little mistake. I'm going to get punished all the time. Everything that comes out of his mouth is punishment. In the pet dog world, most of those dogs just kind of cower, get afraid or nervous or weird just in your presence. The police dogs become violent against the handler.
Yep.
That's it. They bite the handler. Some of them become real nervy and weird. But if you're always the punisher and not the behavior being the punishment, your relationship is garbage. It's fucked. Because think about this. Your dog needs you to live. It needs for you his stomach and his pack fulfillment and his water and his shelter. He needs you to live. But fuck, he can't stand you because you do nothing but punish him all the time. So start putting duct tape over your fucking mouths when you're working your dogs. Just cover your fucking mouth.
So when I do the e-collar course, that my version of what the Eric does, one of the things that I talk about is negative reinforcement and positive punishment, right? So the first rule, like many like decades ago when I was taught to do detection work, the first rule of detection work that they tell you is do not correct the dog during detection work or they will not work. Right? Like that's been, I've heard dudes that are still instructing at hits and at blue line, and guys that I hold on a pedestal told me that 15 years ago, do not correct a dog during detection work. It's 2023. And I will correct the fuck out of a dog during detection work if they're doing something that I do not want them to do. There's a case that just happened and everyone freaked the fuck out about it, where a dog put his paws on a car in Idaho, and they vacated his sentence because that was constituted trespassing. There's the guys from Hits and from Police Canine Radio, and I think Gene Ramirez did a thing on it. We've had Gene on before, but he did the whole thing on it with them, and it was a great. Gene's awesome, and it was a great deal. And anyway, there's a ton of shit that goes on, and when we, as an industry, moved from active alert to passive alert, that was where that came from. And the same thing, like one of my handlers is at a training day with a bunch of other old school handlers, and we use negative reinforcement, so we use low e-collar stim during tracking. And they were like, what the fuck are you doing using that e-collar during track? You're going to ruin that dog. And I'll be damned if that motherfucker doesn't hoover everything. And you don't need to say anything. You tap him with an e-collar, low level stim at a 1 on a 3500X from the dog trip. Boom, dog takes off. You don't have to say shit anymore. If he plays fuck around, if you think he's fucking around, hit him at a 2 or a 3. Boom, he moves back to track. You don't have to say shit. And all of a sudden, they're like, everybody makes a face and they kind of make this deal. And during my e-collar seminars, I'm like, I'll correct a fucking dog, especially during the early phases, especially with dogs that are super high drive with boxes, poppers, where they want to, like, the ball is there, right? So they're going through a litany of behaviors that's gotten success in the past, which is destroying fucking everything. And if you're a vendor listening to this in Europe, stop letting dogs dig tennis balls out of drawers, please. Please stop letting them dig fucking balls out of drawers, because when they come to me, I have to correct the fuck out of them to stop fucking digging shit out of drawers when they get to odor. So they get to the popper phase and they want to alert, and they're like, fuck it. When I was in Europe for the last 6 months of my life, I would fuck this drawer up and I would get a ball. And now there's been a ton of conflict created, and it's something that I had nothing to do with. So now I have to deal with it, and I have days to fix it, and I correct them. There's no warning. There is nothing. It's a low-level stim. And then on top of that, I'll use negative reinforcement for a sit. So when I notice a change of behavior, low-level stim comes on. I posted a video on Instagram about it. Low-level stim, dog sits, pressure releases, ball comes out of the thing. Done deal, right? 6 reps, 1 session. The dog stops fucking around. They stop tearing shit up. They stop trying to kill everybody. And they're like, all right, cool. I'm going to go sit on odor. Ball's going to come out. And then I don't ever have to do it again.
Right. And I agree with you on that, Ted. If you start using low-level stim now, okay, And the dog in the training, the dog's going to get used to it, right? He's going to get used to it right then and there. I remember the trainer going back to tracking too, using the stim. They would say on a dog truck, if the dog comes off the track, put that some bitch at 127 and fry his ass, right?
Whoa.
I was like, okay, okay.
Oh.
So, but I was like, you know what though? I see where they're coming at, but let's not do 127. You know what I'm saying? And I had an issue with a dog where he was on coming off track and going to like cat piss or dog piss or whatever. Enter piss here. And I was like, well, let's try the tone stim, or on this case, the dog to the vibrate to the stim. I think it was a high drive Mal. I think we used it on, I want to say like a 25 or 30. And it was a little higher than usual. To this day, that dog will not go near piss. He won't go there. And he will try. And we tracked him to a dog park. I went right to a fucking dog park. At night, obviously, there's nobody, dogs there, but right to a dog park where all the piss and shit everywhere I was at. And that dog was nose to fucking ground the entire time. So it works. It definitely works.
Yeah, it's good. We've had a lot of success with it, and it's amazing with, like, on the pet side with aggressive dogs or reactive dogs, how much better it works than just stemming the people. That's what I was working on with a client today, on a follow up about it. All right, so we're gonna close real quick. What I want to ask you is, what the fuck's happened with DeSantis, man? Like, if you read everything, he's falling apart.
Dude.
Like, he fired his whole team like a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I haven't really been getting involved in the politics lately. I've been too freaking busy, man. But, I'll be honest with you. The guy should have just never ran for president. I'll just leave it at that.
Just stay where he's at.
Stay in Florida. Stay with us crazies out here. Like my sewer guy I had a few last year and stuff like that. Yeah, if you want to get that story, I'll tell you that one here in a second. You want a good Florida man story?
Yeah, let's end us with a Florida story.
We need a Florida man story.
I don't get into politics anymore, but I'll leave it at that. Like, he should just never ran for president. Stay in Florida, man. Stay in Florida. You did a great job. So yeah, we'll end it with a couple of stories. I had a guy go through a sewer. He went from one side of a major highway. He broke the sewer, crawled under the sewer, and came out of a Burger King. And the lady who told the person at Burger King literally ordered her entire meal, like a number one with a freaking large Diet Coke, and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's a guy in the sewer over there asking for help."
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh God, man.
Priorities, food first.
Yeah, food first. But it's Florida's. What else?
Listen, I want to hear some dumb Florida shit that you did.
That I've done?
Yes.
Oh, God, there's so many.
Yeah, give me a good one. You're like, this was so stupid. I can't believe I did it.
Come on, this is where Kerr versus West Palm Beach comes from, which is the fucking shit.
Not at
show.
work. It doesn't have to be at work. It can be.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a shirt, but this is fucking shit shows territory.
All the stuff I've done. God, you put me on the spot right now. Oh my God. Yeah. I got to plead the fifth on that one, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you. All right, that's okay.
Maybe maybe next time. Maybe next time we're not recording.
Maybe we're sitting at the bar. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. So where can people find you? Give them the name of your business and everything.
Yeah. So my name of the business is Bolo K9 Services. They've been calling me Bolo for 15 years now. So I said, you know what? I'll name it that. So it's Bolo K9 Services. Don't have a website yet. Still trying to get with this computer crap, guys. I'm not computer savvy whatsoever. So I'm trying to get a website going, but right now Instagram, Bolo K9 Services, Bolo letter K number 9 Services, and then Facebook, same thing, Bolo K9 Services. We're doing pet dogs. It's me right now. I'm doing pet dogs, police canine training, whatever I can do, I do it. We're rocking and rolling, man. I'm pretty busy out here. like I said, I just picked up 3 more clients out here, so I'm
Sweet.
between my full-time job and working dogs, man. That's what we're doing.
That's good. Ted, what about you? Where were you? We're going to talk about hits here.
Yeah, so here in about a month, we're going to be in Arizona. Hopefully it cools the fuck down. It's like 9 million degrees there. People are pissing themselves and shitting themselves on Southwest airline flights on the tarmac this morning in Phoenix. So that's neat. Hopefully that abandons itself. But we're going to be instructing at HITS. You're doing the e-collar thing, and I'm doing the scenario-based training at HITS in August. God, I hope it's cooler. If not, they have a wave pool where you can surf in. So I'm doing that. You can bring that. I'm bringing my girlfriend, so that's going to be fun. She's going to laugh at me while I'm surfing, I'm sure. I don't know. We'll see. And then after that, I'm decoying at a trial in Gilroy, California, like literally that weekend. And that following Monday, I'm going to be in San Jose, California for an HRD. Yeah. And then I've got a couple more HRDs for the end of the year. So.
Cool. That sounds good. Yeah, hits is we're gonna have a booth and everything, guys. So if you're there, you want to come up and bullshit, man, stop up to the booth or come check out our classes. We usually get a pretty good turnout for our classes. So everybody wants to come, and half the people want to hear what we have to, what we're the topic. The other half want to stare at the monkeys because we're just a freak show. So
the other half wants to hear how many times Eric says the F word like it's a South Park episode and they have a fucking counter going.
Yeah. I'm actually, I tell you, I'm going to try to do better at that.
Like you're going to have a higher number or what?
No.
Oh,
better as in not doing it. I could see how that could be misconstrued. In Pittsburgh this year, it was bad.
Okay.
It was bad. I got to stop. Just be.
It's not as bad as Griff. Griff uses it like he uses, like we use He's just like, fuck.
Like, you know how those girls always say like Griff says fuck. So
exactly. So we love you, Griff.
Yeah, we do. Anyways, check out our website, workingdogradio.com. We got some good t-shirt ideas on there. We're waiting on our artists to send back the ideas that Ted and I just each came up with a shirt idea that'll be pretty good.
That's right.
Not sure. They should have been back by now.
I forgot about
follow up on that. So anyways,
no,
Joe.
I forgot about that, yeah.
We miss you, man. We haven't got to see you in a minute. It was great having you on.
You guys want to come down, man? We'll guys come on out, man. We'll have some fun. Got a lot of guys out here that are eager to learn. Either HRD or the e-collar class guys. I mean, we'd love to have you come down here, guys.
It's weird. How this works, Joe, is someone has to host us.
True story.
Both of those.
I'm trying.
I was just in Fort Myers this year with them boys down. Jari.
I know. I tried to get down there. I couldn't get all my days off. Yeah. So
I think a lot of people think we just poof and show up at a department and we have
we'll get you guys down here. I gotta pull some strings, but we'll get you guys down here.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks. Right. I appreciate you meeting up here on a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And
I really appreciate it.
We'll see you on the next one.